Hey, welcome back to the Sanders Kitchen. I'm Mike. Thanks for coming to see me today. Thanks for stopping by. If you haven't subscribed yet, hey, please do that. I really appreciate it. Need those subscriptions. But watch it all the way through. This is going to be a really good recipe. We're doing some beef stew. We have a lot of ingredients, so let me show you what's in the recipe before we get started. Okay, what we got in this recipe? We have some butter, we got parsley and celery, onions, some garlic, got some flour. We're going to make a little roux. We got some of these new potatoes, you know, right there. You see what that looks like? Okay, and then we have some carrots, and then we got some sirloin tip roast that we cut up into little cubes, and then we got some beef stock, some vegetable stock, and we're going to have some salt and pepper and a couple of other herbs. We'll tell you all about it as we roll along. So just stick with us and let's roll along and make this recipe happen, okay? There's a few things you have to know about beef stew. First of all, you got to have some green peas. Now these come out of the frozen section, okay? And I'll tell you all about how much we have in the description, so I'm not going to worry about that now. But we have some white mushrooms. We call them button mushrooms down here. Now, they're about that big, and I'm going to cut them in half before we put them in, okay? But I'm not going to do that right now. The next thing is those new potatoes that were in a can I showed you. Okay, this right here, we cut those in half, and if they were real big, I cut them maybe in 4 pieces, okay? And because, you know, you don't want a big giant piece of potato in. But here's the other thing. The potatoes are cooked. That's why I like these new potatoes. They're already cooked. They're soft, 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 and they peeled. And you don't have to peel your finger off trying to get to it because I already did that. And the next thing I want to tell you is we bought a 3-pound sirloin tip roast. It didn't have a whole lot of fat on it. It had a little bit of fat. But I cut them up in pieces about that big. You know, maybe around that big. Hey, you know why? They're going to shrink up when they release all their water and they brown up and cook nice, and they're going to get a little smaller. So I didn't want to cut them too small at first. So we have 3 pounds of sirloin tip roast. And that is where we are right now. So let's go ahead and get started cooking. I forgot to tell you something. We're going to be using Cabernet Sauvignon. It's a red wine. Not too much, just a little bit. And we're going to be using a little olive oil. And that's how we're going to start. So we're going to put a little bit of olive oil in there. I want you to take a look at how much I'm going to put. It's just a little bit, not much. Okay? And why? Because we're going to brown up the meat. Now when I put that meat in there, I want the pan to be nice and hot. So I'm going to turn my fire up a little bit. And when that gets hot, I'm going to start in with the meat. I'm going to put a little salt and pepper. Let me go get that salt and pepper. There it is right here. Okay, so we don't want to overcrowd the pan, so watch this. Just put a little bit in there at a time. Roll that around in the oil. Ooh, that metal spoon's making a lot of noise. I'm going to switch over to this wooden one. We don't have the heat up too high, just turn it down a little bit. We don't have too much oil, so it's not floating in oil. But we're just going to roll it around a little bit like this, get it coated, and then we're going to let it brown up a little bit. But I'm going to push them together because I want to put a little salt and pepper on it. This is kosher salt. So the kosher salt's a lot bigger than regular table salt, so I'm not really putting as much salt. And that's about it for the pepper. So we're just going to let this brown up And then we'll flip it over and brown the other side. But if browning is brown, not gray. So we're going to let it turn brown. Give us a couple of minutes. It might take 2 or 3 minutes, okay? Get a look at the meat. I want you to see it. Boy, it's looking good. And it's browned up nicely. You can still see some of the liquid coming out of the meat, but you know, I'm about done with that right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and scoop them out, put them in this plate, and then I'm gonna put the other batch in. Don't worry about that piece, I'm gonna get it. Okay, that's my second batch in there. I'm gonna go in with a little pepper and some salt. And that's it. You know, we're just gonna let that brown real good. There's gonna be a lot of liquid coming out of there. But we're just gonna let that brown up and let the liquid kind of evaporate off of there. And then we'll flip it over, and when it's all done, we'll put it all in this bowl. Hey, 4 or 5 minutes possibly. So I'll see you in about 5 minutes. That beef is done. So we're gonna scoop it out, put it in this little bowl. And we fixing to go in with some onions and some carrots, some celery. I turned my fire down real low because I don't want to burn my new pot. And I got something real important to tell you. Real important. And I'm going to tell you a little later, so don't go nowhere, okay? So I'm going to put this meat over here. And like I said, I got my fire turned way down low. And I'm going to go in with about 3/4 of a stick of butter. If I need a little bit more, like maybe I just will. Now when that butter's melted, we're gonna go in with some veggies. Yep. We're even gonna put in some Emeril's essence. That's a good sauce, good spice. And then this is the Perrin Worcestershire, so we're gonna go in with some of that too. But let's let the butter melt down. Oh, I love some beef stew. So let's go ahead and go in with some onion. I'm ready to start cooking. Let me move my wine out the way. Let's get them carrots in there. Got to put them carrots in there right away. If not, they're not going to get soft. So you got to put them in right now. And then some celery. I mean, what kind of a Cajun cook would I be if I didn't have some celery? And there we are. Look at all of that beautiful goodness. A little parsley. And we're going to saute and saute and saute until it gets soft. Hang around. I'll show you the next step when it gets done. Man, I got to tell you, I sure like my spoons. Ross and Beth, thank you so much for that Christmas present. That was real good. Now look, these things here, all them onions, the celery, and the carrots, all looking real good. And what we're gonna do, throw in a few toes of that garlic. You gotta have some garlic in there. And then, since we got the garlic in right away, we're gonna go ahead and put in our flour. Gonna go in, and look, I'm gonna go in a little bit at a time, and we're just gonna stir that in and get it all mixed up into the veggies. It don't take long. Just like that. Got the fire on high. I'm working it. I'm working it. Okay, look like the flour was mixed up real good now. We got some beef stock in a box. Get that at the grocery. All right, switching over to the big spoon so I could get it off the bottom. Okay, that's looking good. Looking good. I'm gonna put all that beef stock in there. I'm gonna stir that up. And now we're gonna go in with some Worcestershire. Let me measure that real quick for you. This is how you do it, look. Just like that. I didn't want to get my spoon dirty. All right. That's probably about a tablespoon. Now, we're gonna go in with a little wine. 1, 2, there you go. And we have some vegetable stock. Well, we got a few more things to put in. So, we are gonna put in some Emeril's essence, and I am gonna measure it. That's 2 whole tablespoons. We're gonna make this taste so good. It's gonna be real tasty, especially thick, and that meat's gonna give it some more flavor. And here's something else we're gonna do. We're gonna put in the mushrooms right now. Get all of that in there. Look at that, how beautiful. Isn't that coming together or what? And now we're gonna put all the meat back in with all the juices. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make sure this is all mixed up real good, just like that. Now, we're just gonna put that in a 350-degree oven with the lid on for 2 hours. When that comes out, then we're gonna put the peas and the potatoes. I couldn't remember what they were called. But those little new potatoes, they're already cooked and the peas are already soft. You don't need to worry about cooking those in here. So in 2 hours, we're gonna take this out and we'll put everything back in. And then about an hour later, we're gonna be ready to eat. So this is going in the oven and we'll see y'all in a couple of hours. Come on back, I got something real important to share with you. Man, the stew is out of the oven. The meat is so tender, it's amazing. And it looks great. I did have to add 2 cups of water. It was a little thick, but that's okay. Watch. I'm gonna put in all my potatoes and my green peas. And I'm gonna stir that up a little bit. Look at that, that's beef stew right there. I'm gonna warm that back up. Make sure everything's nice and hot and toasty. And it's almost time to serve it up. So while Miss Pam is making some rice, I'm gonna put the cover on and let this come up to a little simmer, and we're gonna make us some beef stew. See you in a couple of minutes. Hallelujah, the beef stew is done. I am ready to eat. Man, I'm so happy. Miss Pam made me some rice, and I'm gonna get me some stew. Look at this. Got all the potatoes and the green peas. Man, that looks beautiful. I'm gonna get me some rice to go right on top. This is how I like it, just like this. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm gonna get me a little parsley. Put me a little parsley right on there like that, and that is it. Man, it is smoking hot, and it is looking good. Can y'all smell that? Ooh, man. Well, Miss Pam toasted me up some nice bread, and now I'm gonna go ahead and give it a taste. Look how beautiful. If I say look how beautiful it is again, I'm gonna scream. But it is pretty. Let me go ahead and give that a little taste. Oh my goodness. Man, that's what I'm talking about. That's probably the best beef stew I think I ever made right there, y'all. Well, I'm going to keep eating this because that's my dinner, but I don't want to do it in front of you. So I want you to get the recipe. It's down to a science. I'm telling you, it's perfect. You follow the recipe, you're going to make you a great pot of stew. And that sirloin tip, that's the way to go. I never had meat so tender. Sirloin tip. So, I did promise you something real special. Real serious too. I want you to hear this. But before I say it, I want you to know that we appreciate your watching our channel and subscribing. We love you guys. And if you are somewhere on the other end of the world watching us, remember when you leave a comment, I don't speak any language but English. So leave it in English if you know how, or translate it. But thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed, take a moment and go subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, leave a comment if you want, and hit the notification bell. That way you know when we come out with new videos all the time, okay? As soon as they come out. Now, this is what I was going to tell you right here. When about a week or so ago, I was peeling a potato and I peeled part of my finger off, and I'm telling you, I've been in pain all week long over this thing. And I've been cooking for so many years, and I never did that not one time. But I'm telling you, I bought this little gadget, and it's gonna save me a lot of grief. You gotta put this glove on, because this glove is steel. You put that glove on and you pull that little strap around, you don't even need to. You don't need the strap. But you put that glove on and you can peel potatoes, or you can cut, and you're not going to accidentally make that mistake that I made and hurt your finger like that, okay? And I really mean that. So get yourself one of these. It's a steel mesh glove. So that's what I wanted to tell you. And I want to thank you again for watching the Sanders Kitchen. My wife and I, Pam, man, we love you guys. Thank you again. Hope you have a great week, and God bless you.